Hey guys, hey, Heidi from Zero Dark 30 Something. I am trying a video blog as the second segment for the Impatiently Patient piece that I uploaded the other day. So I had a lot on my mind, and it wasn't until I actually was pretty far into the piece that I decided it was going to need to be a two-piece segment. There was a lot more there, and I didn't want to cover too much and kind of lose the point I was trying to make. So I want a video blog, and I actually have sticky notes all the way around my laptop right now. So to kind of help me stay on point. I'm nervous and excited at the same time. Blogging, video blogging, this is all new to me. And I remember one of my favorite movies, it was the one about the girl that was doing the 365 days, the Julia Child. Look, I can't think of the name right now, but basically I remember at one point she said, "Hello, is anybody out there?" I feel like I'm talking to myself. And that definitely is how it feels, but it's also cathartic for me, and I'm really enjoying it. So I hope I'm going to have some viewers for this because I need your feedback on this one. I actually am really curious to see how some people feel about where I'm getting ready to take this point. So in the first segment, I wrote talking about impatience and how it kind of reared its ugly head for me very unexpectedly. I thought I had it kind of under control. I like to think of myself as a content person. Contentment is actually very important to me. So I wrote about the command hooks. Have them here still. Haven't opened them. Haven't used them. I was actually hanging a color swatch, the one in the middle, and this is my home office that I'm in right now. And so I was digging through looking for the monkey hook. I told you guys about these. They are kind of awesome, and they work really fast. So you know, I wanted to use the command hook though. I wanted the hook, but I didn't want to wait. So, and it just made me start reflecting, which is kind of surprising because it's something as simple as a command hook. So anyway, it got me thinking about it, and I started to blog about it. And then when I started writing, it opened up another question in my mind: that is there a connection between impatience and how it drives us to convenience? And that connection from impatience to convenience, is it a connection to laziness? And all of those things working together, how are they affecting the sentimental value of our relationships? I think that they are being lessened because of impatience and because of the lack of contentment that impatience can cause. So I'm going to look around on my sticky notes to see where I want to start. I do want to tell a story that happened last night about impatience and a financial way that it affected my daughter, because I did talk about the financial effects of impatience in the first segment. So she came home from work. I had made dinner and we had leftovers, but it wasn't exactly what she wanted, and she didn't really feel like messing with it. So she decided to get takeout. And she learned that she had to have a minimum order. So she had to order extra stuff that she didn't want. And then she had to pay a delivery fee. And then she had to pay tax. And then she had to pay a tip. And so she ended up spending $17 that she didn't really want to spend because she was impatient. So, and we all know about the cost of convenience, whether it be a 20-ounce soda cold, you know, at the gas station, or the fast passes I mentioned and things like that. So, but we already covered all that. So I want to talk about the emotional effects. One thing that comes to mind, I just saw this the other day. There was a post on Facebook, one of my friends, and her husband had bought her a birthday card. And on the outside, it said something to the fact of, "I could have sent you a text. I could have written on your Facebook wall." And so on and so forth. And then the inside, obviously, I don't know what it said. I would imagine it was something to the fact of, "But, you know, you mean more to me than that. Here's this card, yada, yada." And it got me thinking, you know, with technology and with social media, how we are becoming so high tech in our communication and so low touch. Which definitely, to me, is going to lessen the emotional connection that we have with people. There's videos out there. People are talking about it, the smartphones in their faces. But this is beyond that. This is beyond texting at the dinner table at a restaurant. This is on a completely different realm that I want to cover. So, you know, I'm sure you have found yourself sending birthday text instead of putting a card in the mail. Highly unlikely any of you watching this have written a letter. maybe ever. And if you receive letters in your mailbox instead of bills and junk mail, it's probably from an older relative like a grandmother or an aunt. I know if I get something handwritten, unless it's an invitation to a wedding or baby shower, it's from an older family member. And I'm guilty. I don't write them either. I've never been a fan of doing it. And obviously now that there's email and text and Facebook, I rely on those. I have had a relationship strained because of my holding on to texting as a way of communication. I've been texting for years and years and years, and my mother has not. She actually just started about 2 weeks ago. And so many times, like mothers of adult children do, she was concerned about the lack of communication that we had and that it wasn't enough because she misses me, as all mothers of adult parents do. Your children have grown, they've moved on, they have their own life, and they're busy. And as the adult child, I was too busy to stop and take the time to make the phone call or to write a letter. I would rather text. So, it's bit me, and I realize that. And that's going to be something that I work on as far as managing my time and making more of a personal connection with the people in my life who needs it. I think that impatience has a direct relate to our contentment. And when we aren't content, I don't feel like we're in God's will. Contentment is something that's very, very important to me. It always has. It's something that I talked to my husband about a lot. It was one of the first major subjects we broached when we were dating. And I don't want it to get confused. There's a fine line between contentment and what you have and then striving for more, but being content where you are. And that's what I like to do. As a small business owner, and I've worked for myself off and on all sorts of different ventures since I was 18. I'm 35 now. But the current venture I'm in, I have owned my own business for 2 years, and I am content with everything that I have in life, my cars, my house, and where the business is at. But I am obviously going to strive for more. I hope to be in a much better place 10 years from now. But I want to be content along the way, because to me, if we are impatient with where we're going, not trusting God, and I talked about in the first segment, about having that realization, that feeling of I am where I am when I'm supposed to be here. And this is where God wants me to be because He is in control. And I definitely feel like that if we become impatient with our plight, whether it be where we're at in our job, where we're at in a relationship, then we're not trusting God because He is in control. And a lot of it has to do with being willing to be His vehicle and hear His voice and knowing that things are going to work out. I really struggle with impatience in my small business of timely payment for my customers. Some are great, some are not. And, there's a lot of days that I'm really frustrated when I'm depending on, payment to come in because I need to reinvest into the business or do whatever I need to do, and it's not there. And I've really had to work on telling myself that God's going to bring that money to me when He's ready for me to have it. There's a reason that it wasn't here on time, whatever that may be, and that's okay. So I struggle with it still. But to me, the more you think it, the more you put that into practice and you put that positive spin, the better it's going to be. A lot of times I feel like families get so caught up in the rush and we're going to all the different practices and things like that. And, one of the conveniences in life, if you don't have the patience to cook a meal or do the pre-planned crock pot meals that you see on Pinterest, is fast food windows. And, when we end up through a fast food window, either eating at the car or at the side of the ball field, we're losing that family time where we're sitting around the table. And it's so precious, those communications that happen with the families and all of the interacting there. So that's kind of how I feel about it. And I really want to know how you feel about it because it's important to me to hear your side of it and maybe help me see it in a different light. And maybe, in fact, impatience and contentment and laziness aren't related at all. And if you don't think that they are, I'd love to hear. And if you do think that they are, I want to hear that too. So I definitely would love for you to comment, like, share, follow, all of that good stuff. And I will definitely do a little bit of writing in this segment. And there'll be more where that's coming from. So I'm glad you're here. And if you saw this video, thank you. You're important to me, and I appreciate your support. So you are appreciated, and have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.